guys, hello semuanya, apa kabar? Selamat datang di Ayu Petreny dan Maad. So, let me tell you a story real quick, which happened earlier today. So basically, I was playing on my computer, hanging out, whatever, chilling, when all of a sudden I smelled something sweet from the kitchen. And the smell kind of reminded me of watermelon. So anyways, I asked my mom if I could eat some watermelon. She answered, "It's winter." So for you guys who still don't know, in many countries that have 4 seasons, that includes Hungary, you can only eat watermelons in summer, which honestly, that's sad, but yeah. Are you ready? Oh, and if you didn't know, by the way, yeah, I am Indonesian, but it's just that my dad is Hungarian and I used to live in Singapore. Now I live in Hungary. I don't live in Indonesia, but I am Indonesian. Living abroad, whenever we're online and we see movies and musicus and all other things, we usually hear about big, modern, advanced countries. America, China, Russia, United Kingdom. You've probably heard these names like 100 times in pop culture now. Sometimes that kind of makes me sad. But come to think about it, there are many potential sources of pride that us Indonesians could use to, well, give ourselves a boost. So we aren't going to be talking about things that happen in textbooks that we haven't experienced. We're going to be talking about things that happen to us. Number 1. In Indonesia, you can eat Well, I think you can tell what this first one is going to be based on the story from the beginning. It's that you can eat watermelon any time of the year. Seriously, you can eat it during December, January, even in the most extreme seasons where watermelon isn't available in countries like Hungary. You may argue that it's nothing special, but if you have lived in a very cold country for years, like yours truly, then it may be very special. This also applies to many other fruits and vegetables that aren't very abundant in like months like, December. Sometimes us here, we may be hearing about catastrophes that happen in Indonesia, like maybe a volcanic eruption or an earthquake My friends would ask me, "Oh, is your family okay?" And I'm usually like, "Yeah, of course they are." Catastrophes usually happen really far from where my Indonesian family is. Indonesia is a really huge country. There are so many islands. Some people said that there are 13,000. Other people say that there are 17,000. And some people, the odd few, even guess that there are 18,500 islands. Indonesia has so many islands that we have actually just lost count. Our counters, they're fluctuating rapidly. They're like 1,900 million. But even despite that, we know for a fact that this is the biggest archipelago. One end of Hungary to another is 4 hours by car. But a few years ago, we went from Semarang to Cepu by traveling the same amount of hours by car. But we're literally still in the same island? Most Indonesians are born bilingualists. So this means that they can speak 2 languages from the very beginning. Kids would usually be able to speak Indonesian and another language too. And well, in my mom's case, until she learned English, that would be Javanese. She lived in Java. You go to 13,000 islands, 17,000 islands, I don't know, we've lost count. But you can talk to people practically any time. It's very practical. Would you like money? Well, boy, do I have tips for you in reason number 4. So, first step, go to your kitchen and cook some bakwan sayur or some food. Step 2, sell it in front of your house. Step 3, before you know it, you'll be making lots of cash. You'll be swimming in cash. What? However, in other countries, you can't really do that unless you pay a lot and go through some regulations, whatever. And yeah, paying taxes. So, thank you, Indonesia. Very cool. Indonesian kids are street smart. From what I've experienced, there are quite a lot of kids that go around town exploring without having to have a parent or guardian by their side all the time. I guess they're more mature in life than kids in Europe. Cut to kids screaming because they lost Fortnite match. Anyways, I'm not allowed to go to my friend's house alone because, I guess that's why Indonesians are so good with their hands and their feeling, and this is very rough. So they play soccer better, they ride bikes better, they do things better. In fact, they're so dexterous, they can create things with their own hands. They work on things like, I don't know, I can't really list very much, but yeah. In Indonesia, there are lots of homeless people and beggars. Now, I'm not saying that this should be something to be proud of, but obviously we need to reduce poverty and stuff, but luckily for them, Indonesia is always warm. There's no winter or autumn or spring. Throw that away. We have summer all year round. However, in Hungary, it isn't enough to just live in a house because you need heating. There are even some homeless people ended up being unlucky and froze to death outside. And people even died at home because they didn't have heating. So, number 6, reason, climate. Number 7, freedom! No, actually, for example, storytime mode, occurrence number 2. So we visit this river called Bengawan Solo in Indonesia. There we saw so many people. They were just fishing, chilling, eating some of the fish they caught, if they cooked it, of course. Don't eat raw fish, kids. That's one example of freedom in Indonesia. I could go on and on about freedom and stuff in Indonesia, but I think this is the only example you'll need. If you're poor, you can just build a bamboo hut near a river and then go outside every day, fish, cook, and in no time you'll be living the life of your dreams. And if you're eating too much, then just sell the remainder of fish and make some cash. It's different in many other advanced countries. So like you need a fishing license, which you get from training, and like after you get your license, you can only fish in certain specific places. And to sell that fish, you need to found a company, you need to like, I don't know, pay taxes and spend your money. So if you aren't making that much money, you'll be losing money rather than even making a single forint. You guys, seriously, you guys are so strong. You can eat like a bucket of chili without ever feeling sick. Meanwhile, me eats one chili. His mouth is flaming. He needs to drink like a bucket of water. So, moral of the story, if there's an enemy that ever wants to infiltrate your security, throw some sambal at them and they'll instantly flee the house. Fleeing the house. You guys are... By the way, back in Hungary here, chilies, they're super expensive. Indonesia is probably the home to the happiest, most optimistic people that I would ever be able to know. And guess what? That includes you guys. You guys are actually pretty happy and optimistic, just like those other Indonesian people. Funny enough, though, Hungary is probably one of the most pessimistic nations in the world. Yeah, I'm pretty balanced, an all-round kid. My dad was so shocked that you guys were really happy, even though you would have to survive through things like tsunamis, volcanoes, and other very dangerous things. You guys managed to keep a smile on your face all through that. Contrast. So in Indonesia, there are lots of contrasting things. If you go to Jakarta and take a walk around the city, you'll be noticing very technologically advanced things. While if you go to a village, for example, you'll find, an evolving society that, might turn into something like Jakarta one day. I don't know. Anyways, in my school, they would play this video, kids that had to walk over broken bridges just to get to school. That is very daring, very dangerous. I wouldn't have the courage to do that. At that point, I'd just look for another route. And that is such an eye-opener. Look at my eye. Did anyone see what I did there? Things like that make us very grateful about our life because, it makes us want to help them. So let's work together to, make a better Indonesia.